going on, guys? Welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition of the podcast this week. This is our annual tradition of giving out our NFL betting card for Thanksgiving completely free. Now, this is our first real season doing YouTube long-form content, so we haven't done this before on here, but we've done it on the other socials on our website, lockandcash.com. So we give away every single year on Thanksgiving our NFL betting card, just so we can all have some action on the games together. I never go big on these, but I've got 7 plays for you in this video. I don't want to make it a very long, drawn-out video, so I'll give brief little explanations for the main sides and totals, the 1-unit plays. I've got 3 of those, and then I've got 4 half-unit props. So these are all small, and that's really the disclaimer for this video, is that like on holidays, especially on Thanksgiving, I don't want to sweat out big bets like my Monday Night Football play this week, or the Sunday play. We have some 2-unit, 3 units. I don't want to do that, because then you have the possibility of those losing. For some people, not for me because I've been doing this long enough, but for some people that will legitimately ruin their holiday. So I go small, sprinkle the board, have a little something on each game where you can find an edge. If not, obviously pass, but sprinkle it around, spread it around, and just enjoy the time with friends and family. Have a little bit of action on the game so that's more entertaining for you to watch them, but you don't have to go crazy over winning or losing and all that stuff. So, but I actually think we have some great spots on Thanksgiving, so that helped this year. Last year, my card was smaller because I didn't like as many spots, but this year, I kind of like the games. So we're going to go through them. 7 plays total. We'll start off with the first one, the Bears and the Lions. I'm taking Detroit minus 6.5 in the first half of this game for 1 unit. I think the spread of 10 for the full game is a little bit too rich for me, just because I think the backdoor will be open for the Bears and Caleb Williams for the way their offense has been looking lately and the way it operates. My one concern about them here early in this game is, since they made the switch at offensive play caller, we've seen their offense improve pretty drastically, but both games were at home. Now, we don't know how this improvement is going to translate to being on the road. And we also don't know how they're going to handle the short week with a rookie quarterback. You know, think about it. If you're Caleb Williams, you have your play caller changed, your offense then gets a lot better, but you still suffer 2 brutal emotional losses at home. The blocked field goal that could have won you the game against the Packers. Then you go to overtime with the Vikings, you lose that game. 2 really tough losses for the Bears back to back, and then have to travel on a short week, and the best team in the NFL is waiting for you on the other side. I think it's a tough spot early in this game for the Bears. I think there's a good chance they come out flat, and the Lions have just been exerting their dominance on every team that comes into their building early on in the game. They want to build margin and then coast in the second half. That's why in these games they have at home where there's blowouts, they go nuts in the first half. Then in the second half, they whip out all the trick plays, their laterals and all this stuff, and flea flicker. Like, they're doing all this stuff to just kind of experiment on the field because the game's over already. I don't think it's going to be quite that bad against the Bears, because the Bears, this is a divisional game. The Bears should be heavily motivated here with essentially their season on. It's basically over, but if you get this loss, it's definitely over. But I think that the 10 will maybe be in play late in this game, but I like the Lions to take a lead into the second half, probably by 7, which will get us the cash here, but more likely, honestly, by double digits, by 10 plus. So I like the Lions in the first half in that game. All right, for the second game, the Cowboys and Giants. This is a tricky spot because of what happened last week. We'll get into it, but I like the over 37. It's come down. I'm actually fading the steam on this one. It was 38 plus. It's come down now. The look ahead was even in the 40s. But obviously, you still have probably Tommy DeVito at quarterback for the Giants, although it looks like there's some talk that it could not be. If they go to Drew Lock, obviously, then we probably get a good number here, because this will tick up if it is Drew Lock. But even with DeVito, I like this. On the other side, Dallas, Cooper Rush has been playing a lot better lately, obviously. Their last 2 games have gone over. You saw what happened in the fourth quarter with the Commanders game. That game was a slog the whole way through until an explosion of offense in the fourth quarter. And I think that we could get something similar here in this game, because I'm not expecting a blowout. Like, this is just a 3-point spread. So I'm not expecting the Giants to not be in this. I think this is going to go back and forth. And I think this total is too low for the high variance of these 2 defenses. Both defenses can force. I know it sounds crazy to say about the Giants, but their defensive front is good. They can get pressure. And if they get pressure on Cooper Rush, remember, he's still a backup quarterback. He'll make mistakes. maybe a strip sack, maybe a short field. All you need is one or two short fields in this game to help us cash this over. And I think the Cowboys are not, they're not great at running the ball objectively. So I think they know they have to get into a passing script in order to have success the way they did last week. So I like the Cowboys to be able to throw on the Giants. I like the Giants to be able to run a little bit better against the Cowboys, who do not defend the rush really well. And I think both teams can get pressure and disrupt things on both sides. So I think we're going to get high variance here that leads to maybe some short fields and to more points that people expect. So I like the over 37 in that game. And it's tricky because that's a divisional game. Like if that number is in the 40s, I probably would lean under, but it's all about the number. And I think 37 is just too low. And the final game, taking the Dolphins plus 3.5 at minus 115 for 1 unit. This game to me is all about how the public, what the public perception is of the Packers and how I disagree with it a little bit. I was on them Sunday and they blow out the 49ers, but that was a 49ers team in that current form. They're not beating anybody. They're decimated by injuries. Now, of course, it's going to look impressive for the Packers to put 38 points on them, but that game was just a 10-point game in the third quarter. It wasn't over until mid fourth. And while the Packers offense is really good, I got some legit questions about that defense. The Dolphins come into this game red hot. All right. They've won 3 straight games, and I know what the response of people will be. They won 3 straight games against the Rams, who are not bad. The Rams, the Raiders, and then the Patriots. Yeah, but before that 3-game winning streak, they went into Buffalo and were tied with a few seconds left in that game. The Bills needed a 60-yard field goal from Tyler Bass to beat them. So the Dolphins went toe-to-toe with Buffalo in Buffalo. This team is playing really, really well. And Tua is firing on all cylinders right now. We just need him to stay healthy, and that's a great offense. They can run the ball really well, which is the Achilles heel of this Green Bay Packers defense. You can run the ball on them. The Dolphins secondary is also quietly elite, man. They don't allow anything outside, which is where Jordan Love likes to do a lot of his damage. You already lost Dobbs to the concussion on Sunday. You're thin at receiver for the Packers. Your market value is at an all-time high. And I think the Dolphins are still just a little bit undervalued. Getting 3 in the hook seems pretty good to me. I also want to fade this narrative of Tua in the cold, which is something that you're going to hear a lot of. Tua outdoors in the cold. He can't play at cold night games. He's 0-8, whatever it is. When he's playing below 40 degrees or whatever. Listen, I said this before on this page. When narratives get too loud, I want to jump ship. I'm contrarian that way. And this is one of those narratives that I would have played I did play in the past in the Chiefs game last winter. But this Packers defense is not the Chiefs defense. And I don't necessarily think it's the cold. I just think whenever Tua goes to play in the cold, he's playing against an elite team. The Bills, the Chiefs, these are the teams that you go travel in the cold to play against. I don't have the Packers as one of the elite teams in the NFL. I have them as a good above average offense, but an average defense. And I think that's where Miami can take advantage. And if they were to take a lead in this game, they can lean on the ground game, which they're very good at doing with Ashan and those guys. So I think there's a clear path here for Miami. And I think the Packers, if they do win this game, maybe they need to come back in it. And I think it's just, this has to me 3-point game written all over it when people don't expect it. So give me the Dolphins plus 3.5. All right. So those are the 3 game breakdowns. I have 4 props. Props are not really, I don't have a ton of write-ups or anything. There's some matchup stuff, but really just about the number with props because the lines move so fast. So it's really just about getting the number and what you project to be off. So in the first game, I've got Jameson Williams over 47.5 receiving yards. These are all half unit, by the way. So the 3 plays I just gave you, 1 unit. I'll list them all here. The props are half units. Jameson Williams over his receiving yards prop. DeAndre Swift over 12.5 rushing attempts is a half unit play. In the second game, we've got 2 more. We've got CeeDee Lamb over 6.5 receptions, but this is only good at plus money. So I got it at plus 110, plus 105, I believe is available on FanDuel. But if that's a minus, I'm not betting that. So again, the props are all about the number and the price. And the last one is Cooper Rush over his passing yards, which I got a 203.5. So yeah, that's the whole card, guys. So again, we'll be doing this every year on holidays. Maybe I'll do it again for Christmas, like an NBA card on Christmas or something like that, but we'll figure it out as we go. But those are the 7 plays that I'm going to be sprinkling for Thanksgiving. Again, nothing's big, all just for fun. I want to thank you guys for watching the videos each week, the market reviews, the referee reviews. I'm going to continue to do those until the end of the season. The playoffs are going to be really fun because there's so many wild card trends, divisional trends, conference championship weekends trends. I will definitely have some college football videos coming up soon. We've been red hot in college football, so I'm going to go over some of the bowl games once everything gets set up. We will definitely be doing that, maybe a bowl show or something like that. So thank you all for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll catch you guys next week. Let's get it.